Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Hot Toys die-cast Iron Man, but also Deadpool 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review. That's never a sentence I ever thought I'd be saying on camera, but here we are, and I'm pretty darn excited and curious to get him out here. Now, I got mine from toyswonderland.com. Link for that is in the description below. They do have installment plans and a reward system. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button so you're notified as soon as a brand new review goes live on the channel. As for the box art, this guy at the end of the day is a die-cast figure, so to me at least, this style of packaging, the Iron Man style, makes perfect sense. Front and center, an image of the actual figure, done in this metallic finish. On the side of the box, Armorized Deadpool, once again metallic. Then on the back, all of the warnings and legal info. Now, if you've never owned a die-cast figure before, you simply slide off the top tray to get access to the foam core. Kind of like an Armorized Deadpool drawer of goodness. Once you remove the top cover though, there we have Armorized Deadpool himself. Is this going to be a one-off? Is this going to be an entirely new line? I don't know, but I'm pretty interested to find out. We'll have to just wait and see. First in-hand impressions are, damn, this guy is really hefty. What we are going to do now, though, is get all of his accessories laid out in the light box and take a closer look at everything he comes with. Starting off with the display base first, it's Hot Toys' usual hexagonal style. Up top we have Armorized Warrior. Is it just me, or does Armorized Warrior kind of sound like a third-party name for Iron Man, or something you'd see in a dollar store? Nevertheless, it's what they went with. We also have the A and M for Armorized Warrior in the background, and then on top this kind of glossy high-tech pattern. Around the front it simply says Deadpool, then up top, a regular crotch grabber. Technically, when this guy was announced, this wasn't solicited, but it's really cool. It's this massive Deadpool gauntlet, and if you're wondering, ooh, how does this pop on? Does it swap out at the forearm? No need. There's simply a ball joint peg that this slides onto, so you just use the existing wrist peg. I like the color with the red and pops of green and bright silver. Don't worry, we will pop this on him a little bit later. Next up, we get two guns, but you can combine them into one BFG. Starting off with the smaller of the two first, it looks very futuristic, super stylized, almost cyberpunk-esque. I like the Deadpool logo on both sides and the Picatinny rail up on top. You can also expose this sight if you so choose, it's entirely up to you. There's a little pop of blue around the front. Then we have a much bigger gun, it kinda looks like a shotgun, a sliding piece down below, and once again a Deadpool logo on both sides. Now, in order to combine them, it's actually pretty simple. We slide this piece forward and up, so it kind of looks a little bit chunkier. Then slide this piece forward, remove the handle, and remove this bottom piece. Then we bring back in the smaller pistol, connect it up. Again, relatively simple. We plug this piece on the side, it's kind of like a side grip. Then bring this piece in, it's a secondary barrel. It slides into this front piece that we just moved forward. And now we have this crazy wacky looking BFG. This is awesome. I can totally see myself using this big honkin' weapon in the display, but let me know down below. Do you prefer two smaller weapons or one big one like this? You can also rotate this piece from side to side or up and down, facing up top or down below. The choice is yours. I honestly cannot believe I just managed to assemble that BFG on camera. Take my word for it, it was non-trivial. We do also get some blaster attachments that snap onto his forearm, and when we get Deadpool himself out here, we'll give this a go. If you were eyeing off these bracket pieces thinking, ooh, I wonder what those are for, I kinda was too when we did the unboxing. These snap onto his backpack, and the smaller ones store the swords, whereas the bigger ones, they're for the guns. I am worried about these clear pegs constantly being plugged in and removed from his backpack, but So far so good, they feel relatively sturdy. Moving on to bladed weapons, we get 3 different sizes. Starting off with the largest of the 3, it's of course his katana. Deadpool wouldn't be complete without 2 katana. I like the way this is sculpted with the translucent red blade, and the rest of it is silver and gunmetal. Then we have the sai, significantly smaller in size but also translucent red. I dig this little kick into the blade, very futuristic. And lastly, the smallest of the 3, the hunting knife. It, once again, is translucent plastic, silver, and this really dark, almost black gunmetal. These little doohickeys are a carryover from when this suit of armor was a War Machine suit. It was the War Machine Mark IV. You can flip open the missile pod sections and plug these little bullets in. They're simply painted in metallic gold. And lastly, we have almost a full array of Iron Man / War Machine hands. What do I mean by almost? Well, we've got the articulated finger hands with the clear sections for the repulsor. We also have the repulsor blasting hands with the little wrist peg port at an angle. Then we get some new ones in the form of trigger fingers. The first time I think I've ever seen this for War Machine / Iron Man, but those middle sections, they're unpainted red. It's a little bit ugly. Unfortunately though, we don't get closed fists, and I'm not sure why. Deadpool should definitely be able to deliver the smackdown and punch someone, but as far as I'm aware, the only way to get proper colored closed fists for this figure is kinda to do it yourself. You'll have to articulate the fingers and just make it work. What we are going to do now though is get Armorized Deadpool himself out here. Standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses, but wearing a bunch of accessories cause they're kind of an important part of the outfit. You have to have the swords on the back, you have to have the sais in the holsters, so yeah, that's exactly what I did. Now, when Hot Toys first announced this guy, my first immediate question was, why? Why are they making Armorized Deadpool? For companies like Bandai and Figuarts, it makes sense to go out on a limb and make something weird and wonderful and maybe just a little bit fun, but for Hot Toys, we don't get to see stuff like this very often. But Hot Toys' response was kind of, not why, but why not? Why not make something cool and wacky like this figure? So now that we have him in hand, is he any good? I reckon he is. He's not perfect, there's plenty for us to discuss, but for the most part, if you want something that's going to stand out in the display, yet is immediately recognizable as both Iron Man and Deadpool, this is kind of it. Up close and personal, kicking things off with the helmet first. Now, even though this is an armorized version of him, it's an Iron Man or War Machine style suit, depending on your point of view, it's still very clearly Deadpool. All the hallmark features, yeah, they're there. We've got the black eye surrounds, the white eyes, more on that a little bit later. Plus, when you do turn the LEDs on, there's a ring of red around his earpieces that isn't super visible on camera, but trust me, in person, it's absolutely there. Then, around the back, you've got the dongle, the little piece that hangs off the top of his mask, normally when he's wearing a fabric suit, but Hot Toys found a way to incorporate that in the armor design, and I really like that detail. I also like the color of red, but the finish is kinda questionable. Oh no, Justin, it's bad. No, it's not bad, but it is kind of weird. What do I mean by all this, though? Well, it's very matte. It's kind of plasticky looking and feeling, but there is a lot of metal here. He's quite hefty, it's cold to the touch in certain places, but I would have loved to see some chipping, some dry brushing, some pitting. He looks brand new. I've also seen some photoshops with some decals and some onomatopoeia like boom and zap, and it looks really cool. It would have just added to the whole Deadpool eyes look and feel, but Hot Toys decided no, we'll keep it very clean. We do have one teeny tiny decal printed on his chest plate. There are various textures and armor plates and panels done in metallic gunmetal, but like I said, it's almost entirely a matte finish. We also have a super bright arc reactor front and center. I like the detail on this clear plastic piece, it looks like a grill. Then a little pop of red in these vents right here. Now, Hot Toys did show this in their blogger photos, but don't bother trying this at home, it's not really a good option. I mean, it looks cool right now, but as soon as I remove my finger, you can see the issue. That ball joint is too small for the neck connector, plus there's a huge gap, and you can see that neck connector, which is really ugly. Maybe if you do some mods, you can get it to look better, like this, but as it stands, these two, they're not really compatible. Around the back, I do currently have the katanas in place, but there's some modularity here, and I'm all for customization. I like being able to swap out parts and pieces to pretty much create the perfect look. It's entirely up to you. Now, the katanas do hold in place with friction. There are some rubber pieces that kind of grip onto them, but if you decide, no, guns are more my speed, well, you have the option to swap those pieces out entirely, and now you can have the guns holstered on his back. Or you can have one sword, one gun. I love the option. Like I said, it's up to you. I'm fairly certain that the base mold for this is the War Machine Mark IV, hence why it's so big and bulky, so when it comes to the arms, they're suitably chunky as well. The shoulder pads do have some shotgun shells on the outside, and no, they're not removable, they're fixed in position. Then we have multiple colors for the red, a dark red and a lighter one, plus some pops of metallic at the same time. Now, this is also modular. You've got a couple of panels that you can remove and swap out with weapons, which ends up looking like this. He's got these attachments top and bottom, just a little bit more weaponry if what he had on him wasn't enough for you. You can also spread them out so he's getting ready to blast someone. You can now see all the nozzles painted in silver with a nice pop of blue. For his belt area, we of course have a Deadpool logo as the belt buckle, but as we all know, it's not a belt at all, it's a suit of armor. I'm still glad they found a way of including this belt buckle, just like the dongle on the helmet. It's a mainstay in Deadpool design, it really needed to be here. Then for the hip skirts, we've got some holsters and some throwing knives. If you'd ask me, Justin, we've got this dark black, almost grey, we've got the gunmetal and multiple shades of red. What's one colour that really wouldn't work here? Yeah, metallic green would probably be up at the top of the list, but Hot Toys have pulled this off. This is a subtle, very soft shade of metallic green, but it absolutely works. I can't fault the colour. Around the back, we also have some sculpted in armor details for the spine area, just tucked up underneath this backpack. Coming down to the legs, they're suitably big and chunky, and there's a lot of metal here. They feel nice and sturdy. Not only does it help him feel high quality, but fingers crossed he should be that little bit more planted in the display with all of this weight down below. You do have these thigh straps and holsters for his size on his thighs. See what I did there? I'm so sorry. Unfortunately though, they're made of rubber and they fall down constantly. But that does mean if you wanted to, you can take them off entirely. And now we have an asymmetrical design. On one side, a sai and a dagger on his shin, and on the other, nothing. Completely customizable. I also love the shape of the sculpt work for the armor and the color. Plus, this panel on the front kinda makes him look a little bit Japanese samurai inspired. I don't know, maybe it's just me. You also have multiple little panels that can move out of the way down here for the ankle for maximum range of motion. Then on the underside, fully sculpted, but unfortunately the section for the jet boot is unpainted. For a quick side-by-side comparison, here we have Armorized Deadpool on the left and Deadpool on the right from Deadpool 2. He's significantly shorter than his armorized self, as you would expect him to be, because, like I've said a few times, I'll say it one more, this suit is massive. Now, I don't really think the aesthetics work together. In fact, I think they clash. What do I mean by that? Well, the armorized suit is very flat, almost comic-like and cartoony, whereas Deadpool from Deadpool 2, he practically looks like the real deal. That's not to say you can't display them together, it's your collection, do what you want, but for me, I think this works just a little bit better. We've got zombie Deadpool from the comic book line, and even though, yes, he's got the realistic washers and weathering, he also has that cartoony look and feel, which I think complements Armorized Deadpool just a little bit more. This I do like. Zombie Hunter Spidey with that smooth cartoony aesthetic. Then we've got Armorized Deadpool, he matches that look and feel. Plus, he is a what if Deadpool got an Iron Man suit. So it's pretty much been decided. In my display, Armorized Deadpool's going with the What If collection. Then again, to throw a spanner in the works for myself, here we have Frank Castle in his Armorized suit from that mobile game. And this works really nicely. Wade in his suit, Frank in his Punisher War Machine suit. Now I'm tempted to display these two together, but I'll just wait and see. If Hot Toys make more armorized Marvel heroes, then we'll do a full armorized shelf. But for now, I still think I'm going to pop Deadpool with the What If figures. Going over articulation, do bear in mind this is my personal copy, so I'm going to be a touch more careful. Starting off with the helmet, it's on two joints, one at the top, which is a ball joint and hinge, then another at the bottom, it's just a ball joint. Looking forward to there, going back to there, swivel and pivot side to side. Now, I always suggest pulling the arms out first before moving to avoid collision and paint damage and to maximize your range of motion. Going up to there, going forward and back, butterfly joint at the shoulder that also hinges up and down. Swivel at the bicep, double bend at the elbow that gets you just past 90. Then of course a ball joint for the wrist peg. Now just like any other Hot Toys Iron Man figure, we can pull up on the torso, not the easiest thing in the world to do, but when you do, crunches forward to there, going back to there, swivel and pivot side to side. You can also drop down the legs on multiple levels of a ratchet joint to there. Now you can see this side is sitting a lot lower. Bringing these panels out will also maximize your range, going out to there, going forward and back, swivel at the upper thigh, ratcheted double bend at the knee going just past 90. Then of course a series of ball joints and hinges for the ankle, plus toe articulation. Moving on to the 3 cool and 3 annoying things. The first annoying thing is this thigh strap / holster. It looks fine, it functions well, but when it comes to posing or when you pick this guy up, this piece likes to fall down constantly. It's simply held on with friction, but there's not enough friction to keep it in place. The second annoying thing is the finish. These days we're kinda used to Hot Toys die-cast figures looking a certain way. They've got some chipping, they've got some wear and tear, some pitting on the surface, just to make them look more realistic and believable in 1/6 scale. But this guy doesn't have any of that. Maybe that's right up your alley, but for me, he just comes across slightly too plasticky. The third annoying thing was one that as soon as I opened the box, I knew, immediately no, this is a big problem. When you remove the top panel and turn off the lights, he looks dead. One of the hallmark characteristics of Deadpool are his white eyes, and without the LEDs turned on, you simply don't have them. Hot Toys, I think, should have painted these a frosted white, so with the lights turned off he still looked alive, but with the LEDs turned on, they still would have shined through. The first cool thing is all the weapon storage, and it's super customizable. If you want to have 2 pistols on his back, you can do that. If you want to have 2 katanas there, you can do that too. The second cool thing is this, his big honkin' gauntlets. Something that was never solicited with this guy originally, but It oozes fun, it's something wacky, it's whimsical, and it's so very Deadpool. As we all know, it's often the smallest details that make the biggest impact, and the third cool thing is this: it's the tiny little overhang on the back of his helmet. It's kind of a callback to the hood-like mask that Deadpool would be wearing. Obviously, this is a helmet, not a hood, but I really like that Hot Toys found a way of incorporating that. It's kind of iconic to the look of Deadpool. Wrapping up on Hot Toys Armorized Deadpool. My first impressions at the start of the video were good, but I kind of had a voice in the back of my head saying, what the hell is this? Is this really necessary? Do you need an armorized version of Deadpool in the display, Justin? And if you'd asked me at the start, I would have said, hell no, I don't have anywhere to put this, but at the end of the video, I don't know what to tell you, this guy's won me over. From the big chunky suit of armor, there's a ton of die cast here, there are LEDs, there are swap out armor plates and panels with additional weaponry, there's a ton of customizability here, this guy's just so much fun. Hot Toys quite clearly threw out the rulebook with this one, and I don't blame them. They were completely unshackled from rules and conventions, and they just went all for it, and I reckon they struck gold. Now, he's not perfect by any means, don't get me wrong, I don't love the matte finish. Also, I would have loved an unhelmeted but still masked Deadpool head sculpt. Hot Toys, if you're gonna show it in the blogger pics, you may as well give us one in the box, but if you are looking for something different that's going to stand out in the collection, I reckon this guy could be it for you. If you're an Iron Man fan, if you're a Deadpool fan, this guy is a match made in heaven. Now, is he 100% essential for your Marvel display? No, I don't think so. I could see a world where pretty much everyone who has a Marvel collection passes on this guy, totally feasible, but I could also see a world where this guy is a grail, because I don't know if Hot Toys are going to make anything else like this in the future. So, where does that leave me with this guy? In the display or back in the box? I'll have to let you know, but for now, I reckon he's going to secure a spot in the collection. Now, I got mine from toyswonderland.com. Link for that is in the description below. They do have installment plans and a reward system. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.